Good day, guys. Welcome to Endurance Room. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm out in the woods doing a little day hiking, and I thought it's the perfect time to talk about my Woodland EDC, my minimum kit, the bare essentials for when I'm out and about doing a little day hiking. So I'm just getting to a spot to set up a camp. Let me pop off my bag. We'll take a look at it. We'll get a fire going, throw up a shelter, and then we can go through the bag and talk about why I bring it. Welcome to Endurance Room. So up first is my pack. Today I'm carrying the Savota Yukari M. It's military grade, it's bomb proof. The buckles, the webbing, the cordura, everything on it is just rock solid. It's very functional, it rides very well, and it holds everything I need for a day hike or a minimal overnighter. So the pack is about 30 liters, give or take, with some flexibility built in. There's a good amount of webbing on the outside and the top of the lid, plus the main compression straps underneath run to the bottom. So you can strap gear on the bottom, you can lash it to the top, you can lash it on the sides, much like I've done today with my hatchet. I've also got an ammo dump pouch on the hip belt that is my fire kit. So inside the pack, right at the top, we got a contractor trash bag. There's a ton of uses for these, from collecting firewood. You can use it as a ground sheet. You can make a browse bed out of it, all kinds of stuff. For my shelter today, I've got my Ratnik shelter. This is the Russian military's modern individual soldier shelter. It serves as a shelter, a stretcher, a ground sheet. You can make a bivy bag out of it. It's very versatile, very functional. It weighs about 2.8 pounds, about the weight of a plush palaka, but it offers way more coverage and it's extremely versatile. Now, typically, tarp setup usually requires the use of a ridge line, maybe some trekking poles and some cordage. Check this out. It's got its own built-in guy lines, which make it extremely flexible. The snow's so deep, traditional tent stakes are basically worthless out here unless you do a lot of shoveling. So I just usually pick up deadfall or branches off trees. Something to sleep under, the Ratnik shelter. Now, something to sleep on, we've got a sheet of clear plastic, polypropylene, which also serves for setting up super shelters. Very, very cool. That's better. So next up is another cover element, something to sleep in. And for that, I've got this ultralight sleeping bag. It's light, it's compact, it fits in my bag with the rest of my gear, and it doubles as a sitting pad. Now, by itself, this sleeping bag, it's not gonna cut it out here in this weather. It might help a little bit, but by itself, it's not gonna be worth much. But it doubles as a sitting pad, it fits in my bag with the rest of my gear, and I can combine it with some of my other stuff like my Jervin. Primarily, I use this as part of my sleeping kit as a bivy bag, and it helps quite a bit. So with the ultralight bag, my clothing, and this, I could make do out here. So after our cover elements, we've got combustion. And for me, primarily, it's gonna be my lighter, which is right in my pocket whenever I need it. I've got a backup in my bag, as well as my ferro rod. I can do primitive fire if I need to, but this is typically my go-to. For cutting tools, in my pocket, I've got my good old Swiss Army knife. I had it since I was a kid. I've had it forever, and it's awesome. I've got a good old Mora HD, high carbon steel. I took a file and put a 90-degree spine on it. It's a great blade, very durable. I've got a sewing needle taped to the back. I've got a folding saw in my pack, as well as a small hatchet for light camp chores. For cordage, I've got a couple hanks of paracord. I've got a spool of mason line. I was looking for bank line the other day, and I came across this and gave it a go. It's really cheap. I couldn't find the bank line, but this has been a pretty good substitute. It doesn't quite have the tackiness that the tarp bank line does, so it's not a replacement for it, but it works in a pinch, and it's pretty readily available. So mason line. I also have a bungee cord for lashing stuff to my pack for shelter building. Pretty useful as well. So to round out our 5 C's, container. I've got a 32-ounce steel water bottle, nesting cup, and a lid for cooking, melting snow, purifying water. This is great. It's served me very well for about 3 years, and it's going strong. Great piece of gear. And to go along with my canteen, I've got this little leather Sammy pouch for my coffee. So that covers our first 5 C's with our cover elements, our cutting tools, our combustion devices, cordage, and container. So let's take a look at the rest of the 10 C's. For a candling device, I've got my headlamp. For my compass, I've got a Sunto MC2. It's got a signaling mirror. You can use it for hygiene. There's also a small magnifying lens for solar fires. To go with my compass, I've got a Write in the Rain notebook paper, a pencil, and some pasting beads to round out my navigation kit. Cargo tape or Gorilla tape, a 1-inch roll of Gorilla tape. This is great stuff. It's fantastic for making repairs. You can use it as emergency tinder. It's awesome. Inside of here, I've got a small sewing kit. So I've got a canvas sail needle in here, some thread, a little bit of leather for making gear repairs. Very handy, takes up no room. And there you have it, guys. That's typically what I carry around in the woods. I swap things out. I swap my shelters out. I swap my cutting tools out, my cover elements, but for the most part, that's what I carry. And it doesn't matter if I'm just day hiking or I'm camping out. That's primarily what I've got. If I'm spending the night, I'll take some additional cover elements, a heavier sleeping bag, things like that, but that's about it. Primarily, I'm running 10 C's. That's what it is. So I hope this helps. If you're new to bushcraft and you're just getting into this stuff, and you're wondering how to go about it, what to get, concentrate on the 5 C's. That's your primary tools for affecting wilderness survival. Those are your basics. You want to get as good a quality tools as you can for those first 5 C's. Make sure they're strong and durable. They're not going to fail on you. And then learn how to use them. Learn how to use your knife. Learn how to set up your shelters. You know, how to tie different knots with cordage. You don't need to know a ton, but know some basics that you're going to be able to depend on. And then build up the rest of your gear around that, and it'll take you far. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you got something out of it. If you got any questions, just leave them down below, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers, everybody.